Hey everybody, some very exciting news. Allyssa Victory is going to be on the Oakland Mayoral Ballot for 2022 after the latest round in an awful signature controversy. So if you're just catching up to this and wondering what the blank is going on, it's this. Allyssa Victory is one of 18 candidates running to be 2022 mayor of Oakland. The problem is at least between five candidates were inappropriately informed. Hey, how you doing? The story here is that five candidates were inappropriately informed of the deadline to get in their signatures and documents. They were told that it was supposed to be, originally everyone thought, okay, it's Wednesday, August 17th, because the Oakland rules say that if there is no incumbent mayor running for re-election, then the deadline is in this instance the 17th of August. But and Friday was a date when they were supposed to get preliminary papers in. But then the city clerk turned around and the day before Friday, August 12th, Friday, August 11th, started making calls to candidates and other forms of communication, informing them that they had to get all of their documents and signatures in tomorrow. Okay? Tomorrow. So for those who were basically playing up until the last minute and trying to get signatures, this was a horrible thing, a horrible situation. If you were fortunate enough to get your signatures in early, like Seneca Scott, well, you didn't have that problem. But the bottom line is that a number of candidates were given false information. And Allyssa, and in their example, paced by Allyssa Victory's experience, the city clerk's office had said that the signature area, if you will, that the candidates had a problem in, that had these quote bad signatures unquote, was in the area of the endorsement signatures. Now, the endorsement signatures don't have to come from the same local source as the other signatures for the filing. Okay. So, in other words, they can be from out of town. They can have, there's a lot of leeway that goes with that. So, the error, and so those errors that are there are not to be counted against the filing. Well, the city clerk's office actually did do that. They made a mistake. So, Alyssa's going to call a press conference on Monday to announce the news of this city attorney breakthrough. And I say early congratulations to Allyssa because she has run a fantastic effort. Is my third selection to vote for because I was waiting for all this to get sorted out. And I have to say candidly, I had Greg Hodge on my list, but Greg consistently treated me in ways that were inappropriate. And I'll be candid about this. On a number of occasions, we would make a schedule for an interview or talk, or he said he'd follow up, and he would never get back to me. And and when I say never get back to me, I mean, we say we would reach out for 2 weeks or 3, and he'd never get back to me. This went on for the better part of this year. So last time we talked, he actually called me to quite literally blast me for endorsing Ignacio de la Fuente for mayor. And he said, why? And I said, because Ignacio has a history of getting things done. You may not agree with every position he has, but the one thing that Ignacio does is he understands how to make the government work, to be active. And he's the only person among the entire list of people running for mayor for which that's true. And that includes the people who are currently council members because they're new. But Ignacio knows the city and its institutions backward and forward, okay? And we need someone with that kind of ability to make government work. It's not a matter of making effective change. It's a matter of making the legislation and the wealth that the city of Oakland has work for people who need it, the working people, okay? And Ignacio can do that. But Greg called me just really upset. And I said, and we talked a long time about it. I said, I'll tell you what, I hadn't decided on a number 3. I had you on my list at the top, okay? But I hadn't decided. And I will make you number 3 and let's do a video together, just as I did with Ignacio. And I will make you the number 3 and say, you're number 3, okay? So we had Sunday set, but we hadn't set a time. He agreed to this, though. And I contacted him on Saturday to say, hey, are we going to do this? I received no feedback. I contacted him on Sunday. I received no feedback. And then I got an email from the East Oakland Stadium Alliance that Greg had wrote some piece, or, well, he didn't. It wasn't a video blog because they don't do that sort of thing. They should, but that's another story. In the Oakland Post. Great, he put it in the Oakland Post, all right? But my point is, he could have come on my publication and talked about his position on Howard Terminal. Fine. Because that would have fulfilled our agreement. But that episode marked the 4th time he had done that to me this year. 4 times, okay? 4 times. All right? And so now one occasion I completely discount because of a family emergency. So if I count that, that's actually 5 times. All right? So I look at it. I look at it this way. I'm media. I blog. I vlog. I do media a different way. I am not objective. I am not dispassionate. I think both approaches are dishonest. And it's a travesty that we've had a news media that's gotten this far with that charade, but it has. I don't do that. So, but I feel like if I'm out there putting out what a person wants put out there because it's news, then at least do me the respect of setting a time, or when we set a time, adhering to it. And if you can't, call me. That's my point. If he had called and said, hey, I can't do it this time, let's set this, fine. He did that only once, and that was the tragedy. But the other times, he never bothered to follow up. All right? All politics is personal. And so if Greg Hodge is going to treat me this way, the question is, who else is he going to treat that way that's not media? That he thinks, for example, it begs the question, would he treat a white legacy media organization that way? I'll give you the answer, no. And if that's the case, then why should I back him for anything? Okay? Because he's still playing into a white, racist bias that says the white person's ice is colder, right? It's ridiculous. So here I am communicating with Ignacio frequently. I've known him for years. Seneca frequently. We communicate all the time. Allyssa frequently. Derek frequently, John Riemann. I mean, we have all these candidates I communicate with and treat me, with a decent human level of respect. But I don't care what anyone says. When a person treats you like that with disrespect, you're not the only person they're going to treat that way. I don't care what their reason is. You're not the only one. So I am not recommending Greg Hodge for anything because I have been kicked in the tail by him way too much for nothing, really. Just because I'm, a personality, a media personality. But as I explained to him in a voicemail, hey, I'm going to let people know how I feel about how you treated me. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm really happy that this happened for Allyssa because she is a fantastic person, okay? Um, and I think she really can make a difference. And it's not just she adds a voice, but she adds civil rights experience that she can bring to the lens of being mayor, in addition to the fact that we've never had a black female mayor, just as we've never had a Latino male mayor or a Latino female mayor. Um, in fact, the most powerful Latina Oakland has ever had was actually Deanna Santana when she was city administrator. I mean, she worked that like nobody's business. A little too hard. That's another story. Uh, so anyway, I like the way Allyssa handles herself. She's very considerate. She's very attentive. She's very direct about what she wants, but she's fair minded. And I think that's the kind of leader Oakland will get should she win the mayor's race. I, th- I think what she would have to do is bring in some seasoned people who've been there, like Ignacio, to be part of her group. I think like having Ignacio as chief of staff will be fantastic. Well, my point is Ignacio Del Fuente has too much history and talent in the Oakland mayoral system and the Oakland administrative system to be just cast aside. I don't think that's the right thing to do. Okay. Oakland is in too much trouble to play ego games right now. That's why I don't believe any council member should be running right now, except for re-election. Because the council members have to explain why they allowed Oakland to get, and the mayor, this situation, into Oakland, the city, into the situation, this bad situation that it's in, where people are afraid to go out, where it seems like there are murders and killings and robberies and reports every single day at an unprecedented rate, where we don't create jobs for people who need them, and we have a homeless population so large that it quite frankly is its own political class. That is modern Oakland. So I'm really excited for Allyssa, and I can't wait for her press conference. She deserves to be on the ballot, and by reports to me, that's what's going to happen. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com. That ends this broadcast.